Okay, so we are in week 3 of a 4-part series where we're looking at how to grow on Instagram using ads. Now, if you're new here, I've posted a couple videos about this already because this is the 3rd one, obviously. So if you want to go check those out, you can go to my channel, or I'll leave a link to do that in the description of this video so you can watch those when you feel like it. So last week's video was all about how to generate more views for our Instagram Reels, specifically our existing Instagram Reels on our profile. In today's video, we're going to look at how to then turn attention toward our profile to try to get that Instagram follow that we're after. But before we do that, let's look at the results of last week's campaign that I set up so you can see kind of how we've gotten the gears moving here. So here inside of Meta's Ad Manager, I have my IG awareness campaign selected. Now I've only been spending $5 a day on this. I started it last Thursday, I think, doesn't matter. And I have generated just under 7,000 through plays for my content. So if I click through, you can see I've got my ad set here, and then I've got 2 ads. Now I started with this ad, IG Reel 01, in the setup process in the video that I did to cover this. And then I added in this second video shortly thereafter because I wanted to have multiple things to test. I just added 1 ad for the video, but then I was like, I want to test at least one other thing. And I'm glad I did because that one did way better. You can look at the cost per through play. The original video that I set up is 2 cents. The one after that is 0.005. If we jump over to Instagram, you can see that it's gotten over 18,000 views in total. When I started this campaign, that was about like 1,500 or so. Now, the way Instagram counts a view is different than a through play. So a through play is basically the entire video or 15 seconds of it if the video is longer than 15 seconds. But a play on Instagram is different. I think it's a 3-second view, something like that. So obviously more views are showing on the video on Instagram than are showing in the ads manager. But what's cool about that, and the reason I like to use existing content, is because when you go to my feed on Instagram, you can see on the screen grab here that it has 19.2 thousand views showing. And then if we look at the Instagram stats for me overall over the past, 30 days or so, you can see this huge bump in reach from when I started running that ad. I mean, I'm just accessing way more people by using this as an ad than I was with just organic reach alone. So yeah, you may not like it. I certainly don't think it's the best thing in the world. I do wish Instagram's organic reach was better for every post that I put up, but you can't deny that using its advertising platform really is effective. Okay, so now that we have kind of an understanding of what generating awareness kind of has resulted in using ads, let's try to get some followers. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new campaign here in the ad platform. And then instead of awareness, which we chose the first time around, this time I'm going to use traffic. And you can see that Instagram is an option here. So the first step is the campaign level. Now I'm going to rename my campaign IG Follow $5, just a heads up display to kind of show what's happening here. I'm looking for followers. I'm spending $5 a day. I'm going to scroll past all this stuff because I'm going to leave it all as it is except for the budget. Now I'm going to leave Advantage campaign budget on, and I'm just going to change the budget here from $100 a day to $5 a day because I'm not going to spend $100 a day on this. Let's just be honest. And then after that, we're going to head over to the ad set level. So much as I did with my awareness campaign for this objective, I'm going to give this a heads up display at the ad set that just sort of indicates what's happening inside of it. So I'm targeting specific options, which we'll get to in a minute. I have my age range set 18 to 44. And then I'm going to target 4 countries. Now we're going to fill all this out as we go down. And this ad set is kind of the meat and potatoes, if you will, of the campaign. Most of the stuff happens here. So once we've got it named under conversion, I'm going to select my Instagram profile. This is going to tell the ad platform that this is where the result is coming from. So that's what it's going to look at. Now the rest of this stuff is going to be baked in. So I'm just going to come down past this and I'm going to set my start date. Now I generally like things to start at midnight. It's just a clean start for me. It's just kind of how I prefer it. So I'm going to set it to go live tonight at midnight. So once that's done, we're going to come to audience controls. Now I want to include more countries outside of the United States. So I'm going to use the US, and then I'm going to include Australia, the United Kingdom, and Canada. These are kind of the 4 big English-speaking, English-first nations around the world. This is where I know my audience is probably going to be, most likely, and this is where I want to grow. Again, when it comes to campaigns like this, what I'm looking for is quality of follower rather than just quantity of followers. I could probably get a lot more followers for a lot cheaper in a lot of other countries, but the question is that really going to serve me well in the long term? Now, if you're just trying to get streams on Spotify, there's an argument there for going a little bit more international. Let's say if you're based in the US or UK or something, looking at other countries outside of that. But if you're trying to do anything else outside of that, like sell merch, play shows, anything else, I mean, even just sell products. Like if you're trying to sell sample packs or sell a service, like, I run a music marketing company. If you're trying to do that, most of your clients and customers are probably going to be in either the nation where you live or similar nations, which is why I choose these top 4. So pick what you want to pick, but try to be thoughtful about it. So now that I've got my countries dialed in, I'm going to update my audience. Now I'm going to switch to the original audience option here. I'm not going to use the Advantage Plus audience thing. I want to have a little bit more control over what I'm doing. So first I'm going to adjust the age breakdown, and then I'm going to adjust the targeting options. So because I'm using this campaign to hypothetically ultimately grow as an artist across channels, what I'm going to do in this campaign is I'm going to target people who like the genres of music that I kind of work within, which is electronic and rock. And then I'm going to target an affinity in gaming that I have found a lot of crossover with for my audience specifically. For every artist, it's going to be different. Choose what works best for you. You can even include specific artists you want to target here. For me, I'm going to look more broadly at this stage just because I want to maximize the efficacy of the system. I want to point it kind of north, south, east, or west, but then I want the system to figure it out from there and help to identify the people that it knows more about than I do. And because I want to ultimately grow on Spotify and streaming platforms and stuff like that, I'm also going to narrow this for Spotify and other DSPs. So now I have this audience set up where I've got people who have to like one of these 3 options at the top: electronic dance music, gaming, or rock music, and one of the options from the bottom: Apple Music, Spotify, or YouTube. They could potentially like rock music and Spotify. They can like electronic dance music and Apple Music. You kind of get the idea. And then I'm also going to turn on advantage detailed targeting so that the system kind of has the option to look outside of these if it thinks that it will improve performance for this campaign. And then lastly, at the ad set level, we come to placements. Now, just as I did with the first campaign where I'm generating awareness, getting video views on my content, I'm going to use an existing piece of content here. I want this engagement to map to an existing post, if possible. Now, there's an option to upload something that doesn't appear on your profile, and that's totally cool. I do that all the time. But for this example, I want to use an existing post. So under placements, I am only going to use Instagram Reels because that's the only place I want this post to show up, because that's where it's already been posted. So once I've deselected everything else except for Instagram Reels, I'm gonna hop to the ad level. So here at the ad level, I'm gonna go ahead and give my ad a name. Again, I'm just gonna call IG Reel 01. It doesn't really matter. Just name it what you wanna name it. Now that I've named it, I've got my identity selected: Facebook page, Instagram account, all that's correct. Under ad setup, instead of creating an ad, I'm going to use an existing post. So now that we have the Reels selected, it shows up here, and you can see the little pop-up that happens on top of the video that just says visit Instagram profile. I'm gonna scroll down here and I'm gonna skip these text options. I kind of like the text option I have. The call to action is already baked in because of the selection we made for the conversion location at the ad set level. So now all I have to do is click publish, and this campaign is ready to go. So now we have 2 campaigns running to grow on Instagram. The first one is just generating a lot of momentum for me as a business, as a brand, as an artist, by getting a lot of views on my content. And now this one is going to be sending people to my profile to try to get them to follow me. But an important distinction needs to be made here. This campaign isn't about getting the follow. That's not the objective in the eyes of the ad platform. The objective in the eyes of the ad platform is to get people to my profile. Once they get to my profile, it is my content's job and my profile and my bio's job to get them to follow me. So we'll see. Currently, my profile and bio are not as optimized for me as an artist as they once were. They're a bit more optimized for me as a content creator and a music kind of marketing educator. So we'll see how well my profile sells the follow. I will look at results next week when we build a retargeting kind of setup for this whole thing. So if you want to tune into that, make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you don't miss that video. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you want to go deeper with topics just like this every single week, then I hope that you'll subscribe to my newsletter, The One Thing. Every week, I send out one thing that I am either thinking about or testing to become a more effective artist, content creator, marketer, and business owner kind of in the digital age. So if you do want to sign up for that, I'll leave a link to do that in the description of this video. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.